DJ Chart in St. Augustine Beach Pier with his wife.
Cool.
And he was friggin' cool as hell.
I don't know.
I actually think it's a good fit. He's had lots of injuries, but they've all been minor injuries here and there. His major injury was this past season, and hopefully after the surgery, it's corrected. I would like to see what he could do is if he could repeat like his 2019 season.
Do you think the Lions take a quarterback in this draft?
Not a chance.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
We have 4 QBs on the roster right now.
Yeah, but none of them are starting caliber outside of golf.
I understand that. They're not going to draft one this year.
And the real question is, where do y'all think OBJ is going to turn out? I think he's going to go back to Cleveland, but Dave Clark, the guy that runs 32 Warzone, thinks that friggin' OBJ is not welcome to come to the Cleveland Browns.
It isn't that he's not welcome in Cleveland. He doesn't want to go back to Cleveland.
He wants to go back to the Rams, I think.
He hasn't resigned
yet. If he goes back to the Rams, I'm going to say it now. The Rams are repeating the Super Bowl. I'll say that because who's going to stop? Who's going to stop Allen Robinson, Cooper Kupp, and Odell? Who's going to stop
Robert Woods?
No, he got traded.
Did he get traded? Who did he get traded to?
Since I'm on a podcast right now with nothing but
he got traded cheap. I forgot who it was. I forgot who he did. He did get traded. I seen that. I forget who it was.
About that too. I know.
Let me look real quick. I'll try finding it.
Everybody wanted us to sign a freaking receiver. I wanted the Brandon Cooks to be back to the Patriots. That's who I wanted us to trade for.
Titans signed the
because he needs to get the heck out of here.
Oh, Titans got him. That's right.
I tell you what, though, my Jacksonville Jaguars are going all the way this year. I can feel it stacking up.
Robert Woods is a definite upgrade over Julio Jones.
Well, speaking of Julio Jones, did you see where he was talking about going?
Green Bay.
He's going down to Tampa Bay.
What?
Oh, is he now? Because the rumor is that he was visiting Green Bay tomorrow.
Yeah, because he was. There's rumors he's going to the Tampa Bay.
Green Bay has to get him because they're in desperate need of receivers right now.
I'm
calling it right now. The Green Bay Packers are drafting Treylon Burks out of Arkansas. Watch.
I can see that.
They're drafting him.
Since we have some New England Patriots fans and Detroit Lions fans in here, I got to ask real question. Did Nick Foles get traded to the New York Jets? Because my next door neighbor's a cop from 9/11, and he just came home yesterday and screamed to me that Nick Foles signed a contract with the New York Jets. Is this true?
I'll find out in a second.
That don't matter.
He saw 9/11 guys.
He ain't gonna start either way. It don't matter. Zach Wilson's your starter.
Zach Wilson's a shitty quarterback.
I don't know about that. Zach Wilson. To be honest, like when he was on last year, I was the most impressed with Zach Wilson of any of the rookie quarterbacks. When he was like on, now he had his like bad moments. He was also the quarterback that got better the most at the end of the year. Go look at Zach Wilson. The first like 8 games to his last 8, it's like he's a whole different quarterback. He looked like Sam Darnold.
I bet you.
Actually, Nick Foles has gone nowhere. He's on the trade block. He's not a free agent.
Yeah, but what do you guys think of Matt Ryan going to Indy?
I think it was a great move for Indy, and it was a great move for the Atlanta Falcons to finally start their rebuild.
What about Carson Wentz leaving the Colts and going to Washington?
That was expected. I
knew he was going to leave. I thought Washington would try to go after Watson, to be honest. Because that team, I think Washington's a quarterback away from being like a serious like contender right now in the NFC. Their defense is excellent. They got Chase Young, Montez Sweat. Got some good players in the secondary. On offense, they got Scary Terry, who I still claim is a top 5 receiver if he gets the correct quarterback. They got running back, what's his name? Antonio Gibson. So they got some good players on their team. They just need a quarterback. That's the biggest thing.
I tell you what, I'm a diehard Jaguar fan, but I'm honest to God, to tell you the truth, I'm scared to death about ATN stepping back on that field for the Jags. I would trade out of the New England Patriots, or I would trade somebody that's good for ATN for a better running back because ATN, if he gets hurt one more time, he can't do nothing.
What? I don't even get why the Jaguars. I know he played with Trevor Lawrence. I don't even get why they even drafted him. I said that when they drafted him. I thought it was a wasted pick because they had James Robinson.
They said Urban Myers. They said Urban Myers screwed up by taking ATN by the second round.
Yeah, Urban Meyer didn't even know who Aaron Donald was. Come on now. How do you not know who the best defensive player in the league is?
I was happy as hell when Urban Myers came because my grandfather, he's a painter here in St. Augustine, and he went to University of Florida in 1975, and he got a Golden Gator jacket that's a Letterman's jacket that's worth over $1,000 because he's dead now. And when Urban Myers came to Jacksonville, I even told my dad that's a diehard Cowboy fan, I said, Dad, go Jags. We're going to Super Bowl. And he's like, I bet you right now, put $100 in your pocket, right in my pocket right now. The Jaguars are not going nowhere. And he was right. And I was at that. I was
a lot of problems with the Jaguars was
I bet you this right
line play.
Now.
Guys, I do have to say this.
I bet you this right now, Joey.
What?
Trevor Lawrence won't play 5 years with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He'll be the next Sam Darnold. He'll get traded by year 3, year 4 that contract.
I know they suck.
And another guy that's not going to last his whole contract because he got way overpaid is Christian Kirk. Most overpaid player this whole free agency.
I thought that was ridiculous that he got that $18 million a year contract.
Hands down.
Yeah, and I gotta ask y'all a real question. What do y'all think of Doug Patterson? Do you think he will turn around the Jaguar team?
Doug Peterson?
Yeah.
He has a chance to do it, but they were in like year 2 of their rebuild when they drafted Trevor Lawrence. They needed to hold off a year, build that O-line better, build the middle of the defense better, and I don't mean the DNs or the linebackers. I mean the defensive tackle position needs to have a solid DT2 to go with their DT1. That's when they'll start to actually compete because then that front 7 looks better. But now that they lost Miles Jack, they got to find another middle linebacker.
That was a horrible move by the Jaguars. Let go Miles Jack. He got a fumble from Tom Brady in 2017, and I thought that was fucking great. That was freaking great when he did that.
It was a great pickup for the Steelers, though.
Yeah.
But I got to tell y'all something right now. Listen.
With him being on the inside with T.J. Watt on the outside, that's going to – and Devin Bush.
Because Devin Bush hasn't –
Patriots fans and Detroit fans, listen to me. I got to tell y'all something. I was fired from the Jaguars when Urban Myers was their head coach because I was there the day that he kicked. He fucking kicked my Josh Lambo, the kicker. And I turned around and said, what the fuck are you doing, Urban? You can't talk to this guy like this. You can't just go up there and kick him. And he's like, well, you had to pretend like you never saw that, Joey. And I said, fuck you. I'm gone. I came here to watch you win with the Jaguars, not kick a fucking player. And he's like, did you see it? Did you see it? And he tried to give me some fucking money and told me not to say a word, not to say a thing to the media. And I said, you're a goddamn fucking piece of shit, kicking one of our players. And then all of our players turned around. I said, exactly, Joey. And I said, I love you, Jacksonville Jaguars. I said, I'm not going to come back, and this coach is going to be here. Khan gave me a call that day and said, Joey, you know you were fired from the Jags, right? I said, yes, I do, and I'm glad to be fucking fired because he kicked that fucking player. Urban Myers sucked at the fucking Jacksonville Jaguars. And I hope that bum never coaches another fucking team.
No, he's going to get into college again is what's going to end up happening.
Yeah.
What team's going to take him? He screwed up at Florida. He screwed up at friggin' Ohio.
Yeah, he did. But guess what? Somebody will take him because he's a winner in college.
Oh, my fucking God.
You can say what you want. He coaches winning teams.
Yeah, he was saying, like, remember we were talking about this on one of the old podcasts. He was talking about in the middle of the season how he's like, oh, I want to go back to college football, coaching college football. Remember that?
Yep.
And I remember when it came out about Urban Myers getting that lap dance from the fucking girl, too.
This is when you knew the Jags were in trouble when Urban Meyer asked after the season and he didn't know who Aaron Donald, Myles Garrett, or any of the elite pass rushers that he had to face that season, and he didn't know their names, that's an issue because that means you can't coach your team.
I wish Urban Myers would come on live this podcast right now when I turn around and spit and say to call him a fucking loser.
I would do the same with Matt Patricia.
And to tell you the truth,
speaking of Matt Patricia, it looks like he's going to be your offensive line coach.
Well, good luck with that.
Jacksonville?
No, New England. He's our offensive line coach.
Okay, I'm about to say, wow.
And your assistant head coach by name, I think it stands for Bill Belichick's coffee bitch.
We don't have a fucking offensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator, a fucking quarterbacks coach.
Like I just thought didn't New England sign Adam Gase as offensive coordinator?
No. They haven't signed anybody.
I thought I saw that back in January.
They have no offensive coordinator, no quarterbacks coach, or no defensive coordinator. Well, technically, Belichick and his son are the co-defensive coordinator, but there's no name considered. Wow. But there's no offensive coordinator.
I'll be right back.
I heard people, they said the scouts and stuff around the league think that Bill Belichick's actually going to be calling the offensive plays, which is odd because I've never seen a head coach and then call offensive plays before and defensive plays. I don't think that's ever happened. Belichick's never called offensive plays because it's always been Charlie Weiss or McDaniels or Bill O'Brien.
We'll see how good he ends up doing.
Which he knows. He knows defense, so he should be able to put Mack in an offense in a position though.
We got to do a whole rebuild though. I was telling Jeremy earlier that it looks like right now for the Patriots, our offensive line is the thing that we're doing great on, but the rest, except for maybe quarterback, has to get rebuilt. Our whole defense.
The offense is fine. I think the outside of number one receiver, the offense is fine. The line, the quarterback, running backs, tight ends, we're good. We're good on the offense. We have every piece on offense. The offense just needs a number one receiver. That's it.
Yeah.
Defense needs a outside corner and some linebackers pretty much. Well, I don't really even know if they need linebackers. Just we got that Wilson kid from Cleveland. He's more of today's linebacker. We re-signed Bentley, and then we got guys that we drafted this year that didn't even play. We drafted Cameron McGrone. I think he's going to be our best linebacker. I said that when we drafted him because he fits today's NFL more. He's an athletic linebacker that can run sideline to sideline. He didn't play this year because the Patriots already knew when they drafted him that he was going to sit out the whole year. That's why they got him in the fifth round because he was projected to be a second round pick until he tore his Achilles. So the Patriots got him in the fifth round. And they also got a player nobody's talking about that they traded for from Baltimore in the secondary is Shaun Wade, the cornerback from Ohio State. He was supposed to be the best slot corner in the draft, and he went to the fifth round, and then Baltimore traded him to us.
Can I ask y'all a real, truly honest answer about the Jags? What do you guys think the record will be of the Jags this year?
Not good.
I think they got the possibility of a ceiling of maybe 6 wins.
That division.
They said that we're getting all of our players back from 2017. Not all of them, not Ramsey, not Boyhe, not any of the rest of them. But they're saying that we could. They said that we could win our division this year.
No, I don't see the Jaguars. I don't see the Jaguars finishing better than third in their division. It's going to be between them and the Texans for third.
I think, and with the NFC North being what it is, and Karen Rodgers is back, I still have the Packers as going to be the number one team out of the NFC North. But it's going to be a dog.
I don't see Aaron Rodgers doing shit because he friggin' lied his ass off about taking that COVID shot, and he got sick after not taking it.
Packers are going to win the North, yeah.
And then it's going to be between the Lions and the Vikings for second.
I think the Vikings still got second.
I think it's going to be between them. As much as I hate to say it, because the Bears' O-line is so bad, I don't see them doing anything.
Shot at number one too.
They could. It really depends on who they pick up this draft. I think they go both wide receivers in the first round.
The biggest question is who's going who's going to win the West? Is it going to be the Rams again?
More than likely. I mean, with what they got right now, they should be able to win again.
Or can the Cardinals challenge them? Because remember, the Cardinals started out hot last year and then kind of fell out at the end of the year. Can they challenge them?
It's just like it was in college for the coach. It's called the Kingsbury collapse. It happens every year. He comes out like gangbusters. He's leading the division by halfway through the season, and then he falls apart and either just makes it or just misses the playoffs.
Because I'm thinking that the 49ers or the Cardinals could pretty much kind of challenge the Rams. Because especially if Lance is who they're saying he is. If Lance is as good as they're saying he is, then.
Well, listen, guys. Jacksonville took away one of Arizona's wide receivers, the one that made him win all the games.
Christian Kirk?
Yeah.
With 7 touchdowns? With 7 touchdowns, he made him win all the games?
Christian
sorry, I didn't mean to say that. That slipped out wrong.
He was a part of the reason they won games. Kyler Murray is a big reason why they lost at the end of the season, too, because after his injury, he kind of fell apart.
Christian Kirk is the second best wide receiver on the Jaguars right now. He's not even their best receiver.
No, I think Marvin Jones Jr. from Detroit is the best receiver that Jacksonville's got.
I think Laviska Shenault is the best receiver you got.
Yeah, but he's on the trade block.
He's gone.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Yeah.
He got traded.
Yeah.
Did he get traded?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because Kansas City was looking at him, actually. They were one of the
I don't understand that reasoning. What is Belke doing?
I want him gone because I don't think he's going to get all these good players, and I think he's going to freaking destroy the Jaguar team.
He's not getting good players, though. Christian Kirk is not that good.
Yeah, he's a wide receiver, too, at best.
Calais Campbell's supposed to come back next year or this year, too.
A lot of Lions fans wanted us to pay him or Allen Robinson. I was like, well, when I looked at the stats, Christian Kirk averaged 1.2 yards of separation. Do you know what the average was in the NFL for wide receiver separation? 2.3 yards. Allen Robinson was right there with Devontae Parker at the bottom, tied for worst for wide receivers separation in the league. Allen Robinson, partly because he really didn't want to play for Chicago and he didn't try. But
man,
it was 0.7 yards.
I'll never forget when I saw Allen Robinson go down in Dallas, and I was like, holy shit, his bone came out of the socket. I thought he was a downfall, dude.
How surprised were you guys when Tom Brady announced that he was coming back?
I wasn't surprised at all.
No one was surprised.
The guy that caught his last football, I was like, holy shit, that dude's going to be screwed because he thought Tom Brady was going to retire.
When I saw all the movement of decent NFC quarterbacks going to the AFC, I was like, watch. In about 3 weeks, we're going to be talking about Tom Brady coming out of retirement.
Just imagine if Aaron Rodgers went to the AFC.
But I still think after sitting home for 2 months, he said, fuck these kids.
I heard Aaron Rodgers was going to retire, though.
No, he ain't retired. After he just signed. Yeah, after he just.
He's going to play out that contract. He just got $153 million for 3 years. He's playing out that contract.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Because I heard he was on a trade burst too.
Speaking of trades, is Jimmy Garoppolo going to get traded?
Yeah, that's supposed to happen.
I've heard that they're talking about removing him from the trade block now.
Because I don't know who needs a quarterback outside of like this thing. New Orleans got Winston. They re-signed Winston, so they're. I hate
Winston. I hate Winston. You know
they don't need quarterback.
I got the cops called on me because I went into Publix with a Jameis Winston jersey on.
Like let's think about the teams that need a quarterback though, like a starting quarterback right now. You got the whole AFC. The whole AFC. The only team in the AFC North that you could say is maybe needs an upgrade is Pittsburgh. You could maybe get an upgrade with Trubisky, but the other three guys are safe. Mm-hmm. You got Watson, you got Burrow, and you got Lamar,
the running back that can throw the ball.
I like that one guy out of Detroit. I like that guy. I like that guy out of Detroit. The guy with the long hair.
Division got what's his name they just traded for Matt Ryan. Mm-hmm. Jacksonville's not moving off Trevor Lawrence.
You talking about TJ Hawkinson, the tight end?
And then
with the long hair, Joey? The tight end? Or are you talking about the linebacker?
No, he's not. He's not a long hair. He's not anywhere anymore. He went for the Patriots. He went to
Amendola,
Detroit. He's a coach.
Oh, coach, the long hair.
He has long hair and he has a beard. I can't remember his name, but he came off the Patriots. So he was a good coach.
And he went to the Lions.
Yes.
Are you talking about Matt Patricia?
I think that's what he's talking about.
I think so.
He was garbage, man. The Patricia era is the main reason why the Lions still suck.
He's a good coordinator, but he's not a good head coach. He's one of those.
Okay,
guys.
I'm going to ask a real question from the Detroit Lions side. Why did y'all give up Jamal Agnew, and why did y'all give up Marvin Jones Jr. to the Jaguars?
We didn't have the cap room to sign him.
Are they good? Will they do something big for Jacksonville?
Well, Agnew looked good at the beginning of the season, but once he got hurt, it really didn't help you that much.
I love that he did that 100-yard punt return for us against Denver.
He did it for us here in Detroit too. I had no problem whether we kept or released Agnew because he wasn't a move the needle guy.
And I was kind of pissed when Marvin Jones Jr. dropped those balls too when he had a chance to catch them too.
And that's another reason why, he had those same problems with Matt Stafford. When you got somebody with a strong arm, receivers have a problem catching the ball. Period. The only ones that don't are the great ones. Calvin Johnson.
Yeah.
Golden Tate was great with Matthew Stafford, but he wasn't good with anybody else. He was okay with Russ Wilson, but he was garbage in Philly, and he was garbage with the Giants.
Damn.
So, do you guys think that Juju scared Tyreek Hill away when he came to the Chiefs? Because Tyreek Hill's now on the Dolphins. That's probably one of the biggest trades that surprised me. I did not expect that.
The Devontae Adams thing, I called that. Remember I talked about it on Sports Talk in a post. I said, you watch. Devontae Adams is not going to sign the tag because he wants a long-term deal, and he's going to end up sitting out or gone.
Yeah. Lions fan, I got to ask you another question. Why did Detroit give up their kicker to Jacksonville?
Again, it came down to money.
Damn.
Who do you think the Lions are going to take at number 2? If you had to take a guess right now.
Well, if the rumors coming out of Jacksonville are true, even though they love Hutchinson, they still need O-line help. Even though they signed, they got 2. I think Evan Neal is the pick because he can play any position on the O-line.
Yeah.
If that happens, Aiden Hutchinson is the pick for the Lions at 2. If Aiden Hutchinson goes 1, because they want to address the edge there in Jacksonville as well.
Because they need help outside of Josh Allen.
There's 7 trade rumors out there right now that was verified by Brad Holmes. No details on the picks, but some of the things that I've heard, one of them is the Steelers wanting to give up Micah Fitzpatrick in the 20 to get the 2. I would take that and run in a heartbeat. Because then you've got a definite strong safety to pair next to Tracy Walker. Tracy Walker doesn't have to play 2 positions of safety at the same time, which is why his coverage suffers.
Well, I thought Evan Neal's a free safety, though, isn't he?
Evan Neal is going to be a Hall of Famer for Jacksonville if he comes to Jacksonville.
No, number one, the results have to be there for Jacksonville for him to be a Hall of Famer. That or he has to play 15 years Joe Thomas.
I think Evan Neal's overhyped anyway. I really do. I think
his best position is right guard.
I think just like Slater was last year, I don't think that the top lineman they were talking about is going to be the top lineman rookie year, because they were saying that Sewell was going to be the best lineman, and then Slater wind up being the best lineman.
I think Ekonwu is the best tackle. I think Neal is the best athlete out of the O-linemen is what it is.
Yeah. We need him because Trevor Lawrence, he ran backwards so much last year.
Neal's thing, though, isn't pass protecting. He's more of a run blocker. That's the thing.
His best year for pass and run protection was at right guard.
Trevor Lawrence, they said Trevor Lawrence is going to win his division this year and have a blowout year for the Jaguars this year. A lot of people are saying that.
you guys better get another top flight receiver in this draft, because right now all you got is Marvin Jones Jr. and an overglorified slot player in Christian Kirk.
But they're also saying, though, ATN could play all different areas, though. Wide receiver, punt returns.
But his size, his diminished size and his diminished frame, because he's small for his size, is why he got hurt in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. All right, I'm going to say 3 coaches. I want to see who y'all think would fit perfect with Jacksonville. I like Doug Peterson, but my second best was, I was thinking at the top of my head, I was dreaming because I want it, is I wanted Bill Belichick to come to Jacksonville, maybe, or Andy Reid. Who would y'all want to be?
Everybody wants some guys, but you can't have them guys.
Those other two are definitely an upgrade from Doug Peterson. But they're entrenched where they're at.
Yeah,
Andy Reid will retire a Chief, and that's when Bieniemy will get his head coaching job.
Damn.
There's a reason why Bieniemy turns down interviews.
Derek Carr will be tested with. You always say that he's a really good quarterback. So now that he has Devontae Adams, I think that they could top that division. Now, with Darren Waller too.
Yeah, you got Waller, you got Hunter Renfrow, and him. Come on, and then all they need is one more speed guy, because they do miss Ruggs being on there. Devontae Adams isn't fast; he's quick. There's a big difference there.
Did they not re-sign Deshaun Jackson?
I don't think they did. I think he's still a free agent.
Okay, I'm about to say they probably can get Deshaun Jackson to sign for like $1 million or
$2
million.
But he's not as fast as he was. You know what I'm saying?
But he still can fly.
He can still fly, but there's a thing about 30-year-old speedy receivers. They end up being route runners if they learn the route tree. And Deshaun Jackson really never learned the route tree. All he was a fly, post, or slant guy.
Yeah, but they just need him to go deep to keep the defense honest. That's all they really need, because they got 3 good receivers on it. Well, they got 2 good receivers, and Waller's basically a receiver.
I think it's crazy that nobody gives when Stafford was in Detroit and now that he's with the Rams. Every single receiver he's ever thrown to has gotten better. His main targets: Marvin Jones Jr., Golden Tate, Kenny Galladay, Calvin Johnson. Look at the 2 years prior before we got Stafford.
Marvin Jones Jr. can outrun Deshaun Jackson.
No, you're crazy now, dude. Deshaun Jackson still runs like a 4.3 even at his age.
I think it's 4.4 now. He was 4.3. Yeah. I think he's 4.4 now. But Marvin Jones was a 4.4 guy, 4.5, 4.6 guy.
Yeah.
But what he does have is an explosive first step. He has a better first step than Deshaun Jackson has. Plus, he has better route running, which is how he creates his separation.
I like Marvin Jones Jr.'s hands. He has some good hands, but he's got to catch some ball.
Somebody better draft Jameson Williams before the Chiefs do, though, because I'm telling you right now, if he falls to 27, they're taking him.
Right, and they should.
Because because he obviously didn't run the combine, but there's numerous of people that said they don't know what his 40 time is, but there was a rumor going around that he actually ran a 4.18, which would be an NFL record for a 40 time.
Right. And the other thing is, let's say Aiden Hutchinson does go 1. Do you take Kyle Hamilton? I don't know. I almost would take Trayvon Walker.
Yeah,
I think he's the next. I'm bigger on Walker than I am on Thibodeau.
Damn.
I think Kyle Hamilton might be the best prospect in the draft right now.
The only thing that hurt him was his 40 time. Was his 40 time for a safety at 4.59, which is below average safety speed. That's what hurt him. But his height and his length helps with that, because that means he can still cover the distance because of his length.
I don't think that's that bad for a safety. For a corner, I would say it's a problem, but safety, that's not bad. I think he'll be all right.
Did you see those speeds that the linebackers were running? I think it was either the linebackers or defensive backs or whatever. They were freaking running crazy speeds. That
was the defensive backs, and the wide receivers had some crazy speeds.
Yeah.
Do you guys know what Nakobe Dean ran to his 40? Because I bet he ran
4.69.
Oh, did he run only 4? What Devin Lloyd run?
4.65.
Well, okay, because that's who I want.
The fastest linebacker in the draft was the guy I told you that would shoot up the draft boards all along out of FCS. It was Troy Anderson out of Montana State University. He ran a 4.41.
Yeah, I want Devin Lloyd. That's who I want.
And the other guy that ran an insane speed was Amari Barno, the defensive end out of Virginia or Virginia Tech. He ran like a 4.36 for a DN. That's Jason Oweh.
I wish the Saints would get rid of number 41 and make him a Patriot because he looks like a Patriot.
41.
Speaking of trades, I seen a trade that might happen before I came on here. Did you guys see the Chiefs are interested in? They were interested in cornerback from the New York Giants. What's his damn name?
Or the good guy. I know who you're talking about.
The corner for the Giants. James Bradbury.
I did see after they re-signed Eli Apple, the Cincinnati Bengals upgraded his profile picture to a piece of burnt toast.
You know who's coming back to New England? I'm going to call it right now. You know who's coming back?
Trey Flowers.
No, for a 1-year deal. He's going to sign.
Trey Flowers.
No, I'm not talking. Well, we should sign him because we need somebody else besides Matthew Judon.
Who's a better running back out of Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith?
If you look at the average yards per carry and the average yards per season, it's Barry Sanders hands down.
I think Barry's a better back. Emmitt played longer and he played for better teams.
And he literally played 9 years longer than Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders was the GOAT of football.
I still think Walter Payton's better than Emmitt Smith, honestly.
I said right now, if I had to do my list, I'd have a 1A, 1B, 1C, and it would be Walter Payton, Jim Brown, and Barry Sanders.
Oh, shit.
And then you would have either Emmitt Smith, LaDainian Tomlinson.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. So what's this shit about Detroit, the Lions fan? What's up with Calvin Johnson suing the Lions?
That's been over. That's been over.
What was up with all that?
He didn't understand that the CBA in 2012, when a player retires, that their bonus money when they retire converts to dead cap unless the team charges for the remaining bonus on their contract. The remaining bonus on his contract was $3.27 million. So they took it back, but they offered to do it in a payment plan. He made one payment of $327,000 and never paid a cent back. So in order for a player to keep their bonus money, they have to do something pro bono and be paid like a special advisor or something like that for a team, and then they get to keep their bonus money. So now Sheila Ford Hamp has actually, and Chris Spielman got together with him and have put forth the olive branch, and he's not suing anymore.
Oh, shit.
He is actually going to be a special advisor to wide receivers after the draft every year.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. Now, what happened, Patriot fans? What happened to Tom Brady's trade? What happened there?
Tom Brady's trade? He was never traded.
He was traded to the Bucs.
No, he wasn't. He was a free agent.
He was signed.
Oh, shit.
He signed a 1-year deal and went there and then re-signed for a 2-year deal after the Super Bowl.
I heard somebody told me that a New York Giant was not getting along good with Bill Belichick, and now he's not getting along with Bruce Arians right now.
Oh, that is true.
Just the media.
No, but it was true that he wasn't getting along with his coach in New England. That's why he left. He was tired. He was tired of people saying, "Is it the coach or the QB?" So he went to another team. He got his Super Bowl. He proved that the QB can get to the Super Bowl before a coach can.
Oh, damn.
Mm-hmm. Although he did go to a stack team.
He did go to a stack team, just like Stafford went to a stack team with the Rams. I mean, it's no different. And I said as soon as the trade was done that Stafford and the Rams were winning the Super Bowl.
Damn.
Because all they were missing was a deep threat quarterback. And as much as anybody hates to say it, the year that the Super Bowl was won, by Tom Brady. Number 1 in deep ball passing accuracy. That's balls that travel through the air over 20 yards that season was Tom Brady. Number 2 is Matt Stafford.
And I'm going to ask all the Patriots fans this question. Why the hell every time, two times it happened, why won't Tom Brady shake Nick Foles' hand?
He's still pissed that that backup beat him.
Let me ask you guys this. Are the Rams the only team that have a elite player at each position, each level on their defense in the whole NFL?
Right now, I pretty much would say yes.
Because they got Aaron Donald, they got Bobby Wagner, and they got Jalen Ramsey.
Ramsey's still over fucking rated.
And then they did have Von Miller.
He's solid.
No, I think the most overrated corner in the league still is Trayvon Diggs.
But listen,
all he is the best gambler at catching the ball.
I'll tell you another guy that's overrated, and it's a guy the Patriots let walk, J.C. Jackson. I've been saying that for the last 3 years. He's a good number 2 when Stephon Gilmore was there, but he's not a true number 1. If you go look at J.C. Jackson's numbers, he makes all of his interceptions against the Trevor Lawrences, the Zach Wilsons, the Sam Darnolds. Go look at his stats when he plays a good quarterback or above average quarterback. He's terrible.
The only questionable prove-it deal that I've seen this year that I hate by the Lions is that Mike Hughes corner from the Chiefs. Everybody says, oh, but he was rated this on PFF. I said, that's where PFF is stupid. Go look at his advanced defensive stats. I said, that's where you get to see passer rating against, how many touchdowns in certain areas there was. Mike Hughes, all last season, gave up a passer rating against the only corner that I know of that was talked by PFF in the top 10 that has as bad as a passer rating against as Trayvon Diggs. It was 126.7.
But Ramsey, I do have to say, Ramsey,
I'll send you the link after the show, Thomas.
Okay.
Who's the all right?
I've been trying to find how you find the stats for pass coverage on so when cornerbacks are covering the receivers, it only gives you interceptions, and it's so stupid you don't get to see the cover rate that they're covering the receiver on. You know what I'm saying?
Give me guys your guys' top 3 corners in the NFL right now. Top 3.
I'll in the top 3 in no particular order. I do have Jalen Ramsey there. You can doubt it, but his stats back it up.
But let me tell you something, though. He got beat by Mike Evans.
Let him finish. Every corner gets beat, but let him finish.
Who was the other guy that had a lot of picks, but not big? He had more pass defended than picks. Oh, well, let's see. If you go by picks, the number 1 was Trayvon Diggs, and then it was J.C. Jackson, and then it was A.O. That's just by picks, but that's not overall. You can't go by that. I mean, because if that's the case, then Marcus Peters was an ace there 4 years ago.
I'll tell you who my list is, and you can see if you would make any changes. My number 1 corner in the whole NFL is Tre'Davious White, hands down. I think he's the best corner in the league. Nobody throws his way. That's how you know he's good. When nobody throws your way and they're scared to throw your way, that's how you know you're a good corner.
Right.
He's the best corner in the league, in my opinion. I've been saying it for the last 3 years. Number 2, in my opinion, is Jair Alexander. I think he's the second best corner in the league. The last couple of years, he's probably been the best corner in the league. Outside
Do you have Jalen Ramsey at 3?
I actually have him 4. Here's the guy I have ahead of him, and this is why. I think Ramsey is a little overrated as the number 1 corner because Aaron Donald does help him out a lot because he gets so much pressure on the offensive line of the other team. So that helps when he can cover the receiver. I would say impress man, he's probably the best because he can be physical, and that's what Ramsey is.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy I actually think at number 3 I would probably have, and even a couple years ago, I would probably make the argument that he was number 2 before Jair took off, and that's Xavier Howard. Xavier Howard's my number 3 corner. He can play any coverage, man, especially he's real good at. So, and he has the interception numbers that a J.C. Jackson has, and I think he's a better man corner than J.C. is. So,
I just think
I agree with your list except for Ramsey.
Put AJ Bowie as my number 1 CB on top of Ramsey any day.
Woo!
Who?
AJ Bowie.
AJ Bowie.
What?
What?
What the hell?
I don't even have him in my top 10. I got Amani Oruwariye ahead of him.
Hey, you know what AJ Boye was? He was like the 6th best corner on the Carolina Panthers.
Yes.
That's why he got cut. Because J.C. Horn's better than him. Stephon Gilmore was better than him, even though he's no longer there.
And I think the guy that couldn't even play this season's better than him.
Yeah, J.C. Horn.
Yeah.
And what's his name? They just re-signed Jackson. Dante Jackson's better than him.
Who's the guy with the hurt back that they drafted that couldn't play?
Horn. J.C. Horn.
Was it Horn? Was Horn? I thought there was another guy that got.
They had J.C. Horn, and then they got the guy they traded for from Jacksonville, C.J. Henderson, who's actually better than him.
C.J. Henderson is awesome.
Where would you rank Amani Oruwariye of the Lions?
Yes, sir.
In corners?
Yeah.
Probably not top 10.
Because he ended up with 6 INTs, which is great. That's great for somebody in their 3rd season. But he also had 8 passes defended. And the passer rating against was 84.6.
Because if we're just going by this past like season or two, I would say those 3, and then I got Ramsey for the Rams. I would have
and the best player on the Jaguars that I liked on defense was Barry Church, AJ Boye, and then defensive end was Calais Campbell and Paul Lesney.
And I would take also Denzel Ward. I would probably take him from Cleveland over him.
He's good.
And I would also take Marlon Humphrey from Baltimore.
Yep.
And then let's see, Cincinnati. I wouldn't take anybody. Maybe Awuzie, maybe. If you go by this last year, he had a really good year. Cleveland, nobody else. Baltimore, Pittsburgh, nobody. And then you got the East. Maybe Byron Jones. J.C. Jackson, I would take over him. Let's see. The Jets, nobody on their team. And then I already said Tre'Davious White.
Yeah, he's your number 1. So
and if you go to the South, I wouldn't take anybody on Houston. I wouldn't take anybody on Jacksonville. Who's Tennessee's number 1 corner?
I can't stand Tennessee.
It was Janoris Jenkins. I wouldn't take him ever.
Yeah, the Jackrabbit.
Yeah, and then
Byard.
Byard's a safe. He's a safety, not a corner. And then who's the team I missed? All the Colts. Xavier Rhodes. Ooh, Xavier Rhodes has had a pretty good last couple of years. I might actually take him over him. It's pretty
sad
close.
Thing, out of my favorite quarterbacks, I would take friggin' Matt Jones. Sorry, I would take Matt Jones over Jets quarterback any day, anywhere, anytime.
Okay. All NFL Network, ESPN, and everybody has been basically sucking the sack of Malik Willis in this draft. A buddy of mine says, okay, as a Lions fan, I'm going to go ahead and draft Malik Willis at 2 on the PFF mock draft and see what the grade is. It was a D+.
Oh. So wait, do you guys think Malik Willis will be the first quarterback taken? Yes or no?
No.
Yes.
I don't think so either. You know who it's going to be? I'm going to call it
Corral.
right. Nope.
That or Desmond Ridder.
I think there's going to be 2 quarterbacks taken.
Oh, you're thinking it's going to be Kenny Pickett, don't you?
There's going to go 2 quarterbacks in the first round, and I'll tell you right now who the best quarterback's going to be. And they talked about him a little bit last year.
Tebow.
They're not hyping him up at all this year. And he was the number 1 quarterback before this past year. It happened with Justin Herbert when they hyped him up the year before, and he'd say, "Hey, I'm going to come back for another year and play at Oregon." And then they said Joe Burrow was the number 1 quarterback because Joe Burrow had the Heisman year. The guy that's going to be the best quarterback in this draft, write it down right now. Sam Howell will be the best quarterback in this draft.
Oof.
Damn.
I don't agree with it, but
I remember when
they said Joe Burrow was going to be the best quarterback and win a Super Bowl and win a Heisman.
But I think because of the NFL ready, I think Kenny Pickett will be the first quarterback taken. And Carolina's Matt Rule already said that he would draft Pickett if he's there at 6, which he's going to be. Unless the only way that Kenny Pickett's not there at 6 is if there's a trade up, or if the Giants don't feel comfortable with Daniel Jones and they take him at 5. That'd be the only.
Hey, Patriot fans, this is a question for Thomas and the guy at the bottom wearing headphones. What happened between you guys and Cam Newton? I would like to hear the whole story because he sounded like he said that the Patriots did something bad to him.
What do you mean? He was a bridge quarterback.
Cam Newton just got cut and he was okay with it. He ended up going back to the Panthers. Did the Panthers end up cutting him, or is he still on the Panthers?
I think he's still on the roster because they gave him a 2-year deal.
He won't be though.
Well, I wanted to see him.
But nothing.
I want to see Mac Jones.
We just cut him because we have Mac Jones now. That's our franchise quarterback. He didn't want to be a backup.
I will say this though: the Patriots need to find them a backup quarterback because if Mac Jones gets hurt, they're screwed. They ain't got no. You don't want the Hoyer the Destroyer to go in the game.
I thought Mac Jones was an awesome elite quarterback. I didn't think he was going to have to worry about getting hurt.
And Stidham's just going to be on his last year of his deal. There's actually some rumors going around earlier in the offseason that like Washington was looking to trade for Stidham.
Damn.
But it never happened because obviously
he hasn't really been given a big chance. I mean, he's been in I think one game before.
And the real question is why the hell does the Washington? Why does the Washington football team keep on changing their fucking name? It gets old as hell.
Well, they made them change it just because of the fucking. They said it was racist and all that shit.
Why?
The Snowflakes cried about the Redskins name and said it was racist. Yeah, you want to know what's bad about it? Is every Native American that I know, and I've been to 7 states, has said, I won't support the team because they are not the Redskins anymore.
Damn.
Yeah, that's like a high school name, Commanders.
But it wasn't racist.
The funniest thing is their touchdown chant. Have you guys heard it yet?
Mm-mm.
We are Commanders. No. Bum, 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 bum.
It's not like that. It's not
what the hell?
It's not like they. It's not like they changed their colors or anything either. They just literally changed the logo and everything.
I know. And this is the year where you can change everything. This is the year for a jersey change. You could have done so much more and changed it totally. You could have made it more of a, as much as I hate to say it, a red, white, and blue. Whether what the primary colors was, whatever order as first, second, and third. You could have did something like that if you're going to go Commanders and make it look more of a presidential type thing.
And now they're saying Kansas City Chiefs, the war song is racist now, and that's Florida State song.
I can't believe that nobody's ever worn the number 0 in the NFL.
I know it'd be great to see somebody do it
because you see it in basketball all the time, but you never see it in the NFL.
I think
are they allowed to?
No, it is a number in Madden. You can actually put it. It used to be. I don't know if it is now.
I think you can wear it. Yeah, I just never seen anybody wear 0 or 00 in football, but you see it in basketball all the time. Like Russell Westbrook used to wear 0 when he was with Thunder,
and so did Gilbert Arenas.
Yeah,
Agent 0.
Yeah, you don't see it in NFL though. I've never seen anybody wear 0 in NFL ever playing football.
So Detroit Lions fan at the top, what do you think your Lions are going to be this year? What do you think your record's going to be?
The same as the Jaguars.
I think it's going to be a minimum of a 6-win season. If you look at the way the schedule plays out, we play the NFC least and we play the AFC South as our main opponents outside of the division.
Oh, damn.
So
wow.
That means he's pretty much saying that he's going to beat your Jaguars.
We play them at home.
No, they're not. No, they're not. The Jags are
playing you at home. Oh, yeah, you are.
Trevor Lawrence is going to get benched at halftime.
Or injured.
Because he's losing to the – he threw
Jordan,
not at all.
Not at
all. The Detroit Lions defense and offense is shit compared to Jacksonville's speed.
You want to bet on that? Because our offense was ranked 20th when yours was ranked 28th. And that was with 4 receivers.
We will speed kills.
Our defense was ranked 24th and yours was ranked 31st.
Hey, Joey, I'll make a bet right now on this show with you. I bet you right now that Davis Mills has better numbers than Trevor Lawrence this year.
I'm not going to argue. Go ahead. Yeah, that's true because he did have the right coach around him. Urban Myers was not a good coach.
Hey, I mean, Trevor Lawrence barely had better numbers than Justin Fields, and he only played 5 games.
Yeah.
I wish Justin Fields
I couldn't help it.
Detroit. I wish Justin Fields would have gone to the Detroit Lions.
Why are you going to curse us like that? We've had enough bad picks in our history. We don't need another busting OSU quarterback.
He's a good quarterback.
No, he's
not. I just can't wait to see what Trey Lance does this year.
Yeah, because he didn't get
and
played.
Did y'all hear the news that friggin' Calvin Kaepernick is coming back to the NFL?
He auditioned with the Seattle Seahawks and they sent him packing.
Did they really?
Yeah, they sent him packing. They didn't sign him.
Oh yeah, I got something for you guys. I want to say this before we get off this topic of Colin Kaepernick. Did you see how Madden put him as an 80 overall? This game, that was ridiculous. Why is he still on Madden?
Because he did that whole promo that he did himself on TV where he tried out. They gave him an 80. You're talk about overrating somebody.
That was way too high.
They gave him an 80 and he played football in 4 years, and then that like Kyler Murray was like a 77.
Yeah, wasn't he over Justin Herbert as well?
Yes.
No,
yeah, Herbert as a rookie was a 78 until it adjusted after preseason.
Yeah. He was like I think he was like an 83 this past year.
Yeah, I'm just saying if you look at when they first started it up, doing the rankings, they always did it based purely off of the combine and pro days, and they said, "Oh, yep, this is what the guy's going to be."
Lions fan, do you know Braxton Hills at all?
I know of him, yes.
Because I think they're going to put Malik Willis' speed at 95. I bet you.
Because every year he's been going on to all the Patriots team, and he's been going on to all the Buccaneers team, and he's been telling everybody that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were once 0-26.
Well, that's not possible.
And he pissed off a lot of fucking people. He pissed off Brady fans. They were cussing him out. And then he would come on live at 32 Warzone and cry about it.
If you see any Vikings fans, just tell them. Say, hey, they're the only team that got 20+ playoff wins without a Super Bowl.
Hey, we got a Vikings fan in here right now, you know.
Oh, hey, Cesario.
Just saying, the Vikings have the 4th most winning percentage all time and have no Super Bowls.
Right now, based off of the wide receiver rankings and the way it is in the NFC North, with depending on what the Packers do, I have the Vikings as the best wide receiving core in the North. I have Lions 2nd, I have Bears 3rd, and I have the Packers in dead last right now with the way they sit.
Patriots need to pick up Dalvin Cook because he's not happy. He's not happy, and friggin'
they need to get rid of him for cap reasons because they don't even have enough cap room left to sign their draftees.
You know who the Patriots are going after next year? They're going after Calvin Ridley next year. Watch.
Guys, I can't believe we have Patriots on the live podcast tonight because they were showing on Court TV tonight the Aaron Hernandez trial. The full video of Aaron Hernandez was on tonight.
Who gives a flying fuck?
Well, guys, I got to sign off. I got to talk to a family member. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me on, Thomas.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining.
See you, Jeremy.
One pride.
Boo. Yo, get off that fucking shit. One pride is right.
Von Miller's on the Bills, too. So do you think that'll do anything for the Bills' defense, Jordan?
How about Josh Allen? How about Josh Allen sacking Josh Allen?
What?
In the Jacksonville game. How about Josh Allen sacking Josh Allen? I was at that game. That's when my best friend got a beer thrown at her.
But, so where do you think we're going to finish, Jordan, this year in the AFC East? You think the Dolphins will actually beat us?
Right now, I'd say probably 3rd. It depends on what Belichick does the rest of free agency. If we make a big trade, you never know. I know, like Mike Reese reported out that he thinks like a big trade's coming or something but we don't know. It depends on I think the Patriots are just hoping they hit on the draft. They had a good draft this past year with Mac Jones, Ramondre Stevenson, and Barmore. And then they got to hope they hit on Ronnie Perkins and those guys that are going to play. I mean, because I think we're going to see a lot of Ronnie Perkins this year.
Yeah, I was hoping we would have got Ward, but someone else got him.
And then we wind up we didn't draft Sean Wade, but we got him. We basically got him from that draft because we traded.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I'm headed off too. Thanks a lot, Thomas. Thank you guys for having me on your podcast.
Yeah. See you later.
See you.
All right, later, man.
Then we got Sean Wade from Baltimore, and he was supposed to be the best slot corner in the draft. So
yeah,
that actually turned out good for us.
They haven't used them at all, though, have they?
No, I think they were redshirting them. Belichick likes to redshirt the rookies, just like he did with Perkins.
Yeah.
But I think you're gonna see a lot of Perkins this year. He's gonna be on the he's gonna kind of play that Kyle Van Noy role, outside linebacker, defensive end.
Hopefully,
and then
because he was pretty good.
And then I think you're gonna the guy that I'm the most hype about is Cameron McGrone. He was supposed to be a 2nd round pick. And he tore his Achilles, and the Patriots got him in like the 5th round because he wasn't going to play at all last year because he tore his Achilles late in the season, the prior season. So he's the guy that I'm the most excited about this year on the defensive side. And then cornerback's the biggest need on the team, I think. People keep saying they want a number 1 wide receiver. I think it's the 3rd or 4th biggest need on the roster right now. I mean, we got some defensive we got bigger problems than number 1 wide receiver. Kendrick Bourne's a pretty good number 2. Jacoby Myers is a good number 3. Nelson Aguilar's solid. We got good tight ends. We got pretty much our starting lines all pretty solid. We need one guard spot pretty much because Trent Brown and Wynn are going to be the tackles. Andrews is going to be the center, and we know looks like he's going to either play right guard or left guard. So we just need one starting lineman, basically, or we move Justin Herron in, who actually played pretty good last year at the end of the year. So I think our line's pretty fine, even with losing Karras and trading Shaq Mason. But the biggest thing for me, I think, is our we need another edge rusher, whether if that's in the draft or we bring back Trey Flowers, because teams are just double teaming Matthew Judon, and Dietrich Wise is a solid player, but he doesn't get consistent pressure off the edge. And then you don't have no depth players that can really get pressure as well, unless it's like an obvious passing situation, because Josh Uche and Chase Winovich were both pretty much on the field only on 3rd down because neither one of them were big enough to set the edge on the early downs. Actually, a guy I think the Patriots should just go ahead and cut is Lawrence Guy, just because of his age and his contract. They should just go ahead and free up, I think it's like $3 million if they cut him. So that would give us some more cap to spend with. I think the reason why I think Belichick's waiting for these free agents to sign because of the comp picks. I think it's after next week he can start signing, and we'll get our comp picks. Just like last year, we would have got a 3rd round pick for losing Joe Thuney, but we wind up not getting it because we spent all that money in free agency. So now that we lost J.C. Jackson, we'll get a 3rd round comp pick next year's draft. I think it's after next Wednesday's the deadline at 4:00. So as long as we don't sign like any big name player between now and then, we'll get like a 3rd round comp pick for J.C. Jackson next year. We'll get probably like a 6 for Ted Karras. If we let Harry walk, we'll probably get like a 4th or a 5th for him. We're gonna get a pick for Van Noy. So as long as we don't let these guys like walk and stuff, might get something for Shaq Mason. As long as the guys that sign big contracts with other teams will pretty much get some type of comp pick for those guys.
I didn't know they actually did that.
That's how you get your comp picks. That's why Belichick's not signed anybody right now. Like if he would sign somebody close to a deal as big as J.C. Jackson, that's why people are like, that's why people like flip out. They're like, we need this Allen Robinson to like a big deal. I'm like, no, we don't, because Belichick's worried about those. We only have like 6 draft picks right now. In this draft, Belichick's trying to get those comp picks because after a certain date, you get those. Once the comp picks are set, they're set for next year. So, what Belichick's trying to build for the draft?
Not this year, though. We get the comp picks.
Yeah, he'll get because we would have got a 3rd round comp pick this year for Joe Thuney when he walked last year. If we didn't spend the money in free agency, but we had to because we had all that cap. But that's what I keep telling people. Belichick's going to try to hit on the draft this year. The Patriots, actually, I looked at the next 2 years. In 2023 and 2024 offseason, the Patriots in 2023 have $108 million to spend currently. Now, that will actually go down to about 75 by the time all the signing bonuses and everything go through. So that will go down to about 75. So that's what they'll have about spending after the signing bonuses. And then for 2024, they have like $132 million before the signing bonus, so that will go down to around $100 million. So they're going to have money. They're going to actually have money to spend the next 2 years. So really, if the Patriots hit on the draft this year and they hit on their picks this year and then hit on free agency the next couple of years, they can compete for a Super Bowl in a couple of years, I think, especially if Mac Jones develops into something.
Yeah. I get your point on that. Honestly, I do think we should get defensive players too, because we got Dante Hightower and Devin McCourty. They're getting pretty old, and we're going to have to fill.
No, we didn't re-sign Hightower.
Yeah, I know we re-signed him, but eventually we'll have to.
No, I'm saying we didn't re-sign Hightower. We re-signed McCourty.
We didn't?
No, we re-signed McCourty, but not Hightower. We re-signed. The only guys we re-signed on defense so far this year is Bentley and McCourty. And Slater. Well, he's a special teamer, but yeah.
So they're letting Hightower walk?
Yeah, he's older. Yeah, they're not going to re-sign. That's why they re-signed Bentley, because Bentley's the Mike linebacker. They're going to get faster at linebacker. That's why we traded Winovich for Wilson from Cleveland, because he's like he's better in the pass coverage. He can still stop the run. He's not as big as like a Hightower or a Bentley, but he's built for today's game. That's why I want, if we can't get an Andrew Booth or one of those top three corners, in my opinion, Andrew Booth, Derek Stingley Jr., and Sauce Gardner are the best three corners in this draft. If we can't get one of those three at 21, then I think the pick is going to be Devin Lloyd if he's there. If Devin Lloyd's gone and those three guys are gone, then I think Belichick's probably going to – and Nakobe Dean's gone as well. I think Belichick's going to be looking to trade down. I think this could be a draft where Belichick just trades out, because people want wide receiver. A lot of people want wide receiver, but that's more of a luxury pick, because that's like the third to fourth biggest need, because linebacker is a bigger need and cornerback's the biggest need on the team. We got to get a corner. We can't go out there with Miles Bryant, and we can't have Jonathan Jones as our best corner on the roster right now.
No, that would be bad.
So we need to find a true outside corner, and Jonathan Jones is a slot. He did pretty well, actually, as a number 2 outside corner last year, because before he got hurt. I told people that was going to be our biggest loss last year when he got hurt for the season. That's when our defense started going downhill a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I think if we had Jonathan Jones in that Buffalo playoff game, I don't think Buffalo would have did all that, because I mean they were going against and we didn't have also Jalen Mills in that game, who was their third best corner. He had COVID. So the Patriots basically had J.C. Jackson and a bunch of basically practice squad players for that playoff game.
Yeah.
And it kind of got exposed, especially with them not having fast linebackers. And that's basically what their philosophy is going to be doing. They're going to try to get faster at linebacker, and they're going to try to get younger in the secondary in the next 2 years. That's why they re-signed McCourty for just 1 year, but they already got Kyle Duggar back there. They already got Adrian Phillips. You already got Jones is in his prime, so he has a few good years left. You got Jalen Mills. We just need to find that true number 1 outside corner, and then get a couple of nice. I think we got a couple of nice young linebackers that fit today's game. We got Raekwon McMillan, who a lot of people aren't talking about and forget about, because we got him last year in free agency from the Dolphins. But he was unfortunately towards ACL, so he didn't even play. But he was good with the Dolphins. He was kind of he's a probably average linebacker for today, but he fit more of today's scheme, was sideline to sideline, and cover those tight ends, where Hightower and Bentley, that's not their game. Because Bentley's going to be the Mike, and then he's going to be that Hightower role. He'll be the Mike, and he'll blitz, and he'll come in to try to rush the quarterback, where I think Wilson is going to be our guy that's covering the tight ends, covering the underneath play. I think you're going to see this team play a lot of zone, which is odd, because the Patriots have been pretty much a man team the last 6-7 years. They've really, since Darrelle Revis and Brandon Browner, they've been a man heavy team. Malcolm Butler, Gilmore, they've been a pretty man. That's why I think they're going to bring Stephon Gilmore back. Actually, by the way, that's what I was going to say earlier. That's the guy.
Hopefully they do bring him back, because we need him.
People said they burned a lot of Brad Bridges, but Stephon Gilmore is a free agent. Obviously, if he had a big market, he would have been signed already. I think he realized that he doesn't have a big market right now, because he's an aging corner, and most teams don't have the salary cap. So he might take a 1 year team friendly deal back to New England. And
he should retire as a Patriot anyway. He's been
I think
his whole life.
I know Jonathan Jones was pretty much recruited him and said, "Hey, like Malcolm Butler's back. Let's run this crap back." Like when Malcolm Butler got signed, he tagged Jonathan Jones tagged Bill Moore to say run it back. So we'll see if that happens. Obviously, I know Matthew Judon's been trying to recruit players so far. I mean, obviously none of those players that came
like
to New England,
team leader kind of thing.
But that's the main thing. I mean, I'm looking forward to the draft mainly. Like I said, I'm not going to be shocked. Like a lot of Patriot fans will be shocked and pissed off if we trade out of the first round. I'm not going to be that shocked. The only way I'll be a little mad is if one of those 4 guys are on the board, or one of those 5 really. And I'm not even that high on the Kobe Dean because I think he's like a Devin Bush. I think he's fast, he's athletic, but he's a little undersized. So I'm not even that high on him like other people are. So mainly those 4 guys are the guys I'm looking at. If they're available, I'd be a little mad because I think Devin Lloyd's the best linebacker in this draft, but I don't see him being there at 21. And then those 3 corners, if Stingley, Gardner, or Booth is there, I want us to take one of those 3 corners. If anybody else is there, I probably just trade down out either late into the first round or even trade out early into the second round. I don't want to trade down too far, but I would trade either late first around the like 28, 29 range.
Yeah.
Or trade to like the early second. The kind of how we did last year with trading up for Baltimore and get a couple extra picks around that 35 to 40 range. And then get a couple extra picks, still get good value early in the second. So that's pretty much what I'm looking at. That cornerback's my biggest need. A lot of people want wide receiver. It goes for me. It's cornerback, linebacker, and then it's
round 3 and 4 is where we should take a receiver.
I think because I think John Mechie's he's the guy that I think could slip into the 3rd round.
Yeah.
That we could possibly get. The problem is with that, I think you're going to have to trade up to get him. I think he's going to go early the mid 3rd. I don't think he go like late 3rd, like we have a pick in the 3rd. So I think he goes around the 10 to 12 range in the 3rd. So I think you're going to have to go trade up a little bit and get him. But the guy I actually like that I think will be there in the 3rd, though. There's a couple of guys that will be there in the 3rd that we won't have to trade is Cameron Bate. What's his name? He's a small school guy. I can't think of his name, but he's like 6'4". A lot of people don't like him because he's like a N'Keal Harry because he's like big, but he's much stronger and faster than Harry. But I like him. And my favorite like receiver on explosiveness and stuff is like that we can get the ball to is Wan'Dale Robinson. He's going to be there late in the 3rd round from Kentucky. He was at Nebraska, and I've seen him play a lot because he actually played high school in my home state. So I actually got to see him play a lot in high school. But yeah, he played with I think he was a senior. Damian Harris he was a freshman. Damian Harris' senior year. So I gotta watch Damian Harris, and I actually played against Damian Harris. But
is it Cameron Saunders you're talking about?
No, Cameron. He plays for like South Dakota State. I think he's a receiver. I'll tell you what his name is.
I haven't heard this. I don't think I've heard.
He ran like a 4.3 something. I think it is.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, but he's also like 6'4", I think, or 6'3". He's tall and he's fast. I'll tell you, he's a small school guy. He's not like a big school.
Yeah,
I'll tell you who it is.
I don't think we're making the playoffs though this season.
Like I said, I gotta see how the draft goes and how free agency goes. Because right now I'd say we're the 3rd best team. But I mean, if we have a really good draft and we pick up some like decent free agents and the guys that we drafted last year, like Cameron McGrone and Ronnie Perkins, they work out, then I would say we probably compete for 2nd.
Can 4 teams make it into the playoffs on the same division?
It's possible because you can have your four teams and then the other 3 division winners, but the Jets aren't going to make the playoffs. So
no, not that.
I'm talking about
the AFC West because I think the AFC West.
I actually don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen because I actually think the Kansas City Chiefs and the Broncos will both miss the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I don't know about the I don't think the Broncos. I think the Broncos could be first because think about it here. Russell Wilson has all kinds of rookie receivers who are dying for a quarterback right now.
But they ain't got.
If you look at last year, the Broncos defense was ranked like 3rd, I believe.
They were also ranked good. They were just like the Flores. This is what I keep telling people. Denver's defense has been good, just like Miami's defense has been good because of their coach. Vic Fangio is a good coach. He's like Belichick and Flores. His defenses are always good. Like, go look at Vic Fangio. Every year he coaches, he has a good defense. His problem was he couldn't find a quarterback, and that's why he got fired. Denver's defense will take a step back because of Fangio leaving, just like I think Miami's defense is going to take a step back because they're losing Flores. Their defensive-minded head coaches.
That was stupid.
So I think Miami will still be just as good or better because of their offense has got so much better, and their defense still has a lot of the same personnel, but they're not going to be schemed up as well without Flores. And I think that's why Denver is. I think Denver's the worst team in their division. Even with the Russell Wilson trade, and people don't talk about it, they still lost Noah Fant. Like, it's not like they got to keep Noah Fant's one of the best young tight ends in the league. They had to give him up to Seattle. They also gave up all those draft picks. I thought for Seattle, I think Seattle definitely won the trade. I think Denver's still the worst team in that division, and I think Kansas City is a little better, but I don't.
I think Chargers are going to be the worst.
I see the Chargers and Raiders competing for first. After this offseason, I actually think the Chargers are the most talented team from front to bottom in the AFC if you actually look at the rosters. Because if you just go by their positions, they're elite at every position, literally. They have at least elite player at every position. They have elite quarterback in Justin Herbert. They have a above average running back in Austin Eckler. They have elite wide receiver in Keenan Allen. They have a number 2 good wide receiver, and then Mike Williams.
Yeah.
They have 2 really good offensive linemen that are Pro Bowl levels, and Rashawn Slater, as a rookie, made the Pro Bowl, was the best rookie lineman last year. And then they also have their center, Corey Linsley, who's been the best in the league the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And then on defense, they got Joey Bosa still. They still got they just traded for Khalil Mack. Who's going to block those 2 guys?
They have J.C. Jackson now.
They got J.C. Jackson, and they also have Derwin James, who, in my opinion, when he's on the field, is the best safety in football. So,
yeah,
their defense is nasty, especially with Khalil Mack and Bosa, because now you can't double team Joey Bosa.
Who's their other cornerback? Do you know?
The guy they drafted last year, Asante Samuel Jr.
Oh yeah, that's why they were in desperate need of a corner.
Yeah, so they have a good defense. I mean, and they got Kenneth Murray at linebacker, who's underrated. So they got a good defense. I mean, they're the most complete. I think they got the best roster, just not even in their own division. I think they have the best from front to bottom. I think that they really don't have that many holes. They have 2 good pass rushers, elite quarterback, a good running back, 2 good wide receivers, a good tight end, 2 Pro Bowl offensive linemen.
I think the Steelers will make the playoffs still.
No, I don't see the Steelers. I think they're the last in their division.
No, I don't think so. I think that,
they're the worst team in their division by far. It's not even close.
Yeah, but Mike Tomlin has brought.
Yeah, but coaching can only do so much. Talent beats good coaching any day.
Yeah, I know, but look at Ben Roethlisberger. He wasn't that great, and they still managed to get.
Yeah, but if you go by through that division, the Steelers are not better than any of those other teams at any position, really. If you go through at each team. They have the worst quarterback in that division. They have the worst offensive line in that division.
That's true.
The only thing on offense that they have better than anybody in that division is wide receiver. I'll give them that. They got better receiving core than Cleveland right now, and they got a better receiving core than Baltimore. But
they didn't say that division's going to be tough too. Honestly, that's going.
Well, I mean, those other 3 teams will be good. I think Pittsburgh's by far the worst team in that division. Their defense will be good. But, I mean, their defense can only carry you so far, and your coaching can only carry you so far. It's an offensive league now. You have to have an offensive, and that's what's going to hold Pittsburgh back. Their line sucks. The receivers
I don't think Baltimore will make it either. I don't think they're going to make it.
Baltimore they'll be in the mix because of Lamar. If Lamar stays healthy, they'll be in the mix to win that division, and they'll make the playoffs. Because Lamar,
I see the Browns getting over them. If Deshaun Watson's actually there and as good as he was before.
It don't matter. So I think Baltimore with Lamar, they're a different team with Lamar. They really are. Like, if you go watch them this year when Lamar was on the field, they were in the playoffs until Lamar got hurt. So they were winning the division until Lamar got hurt. Cincinnati don't win that division if Lamar doesn't get hurt and miss the last 8 games of the year, whatever it was. So I think it's still I think it's a 2-team race for first still. I mean, Cleveland's talented, but they still did lose a lot. They lost to Jadeveon Clowney. They lost what's his name, Landry. They cut him. They lost Austin Hooper.
Yeah.
They lost Odell, obviously. So, I mean, they kind of replaced him a little bit, I guess, with Amari Cooper, but they still have some holes they lost. So, I still think Cleveland's about the same. I mean, they got better at quarterback, but they got worse in some areas. But
I don't think you're going to see a team go up with a lot of wins. It's going to probably be cutthroat through that whole division.
If I had to project right now who my playoff teams are, I would say Baltimore takes the North. I think Baltimore takes the North. I'm actually gonna go with Indy in the South. I think Indy takes the South this year. I'm gonna say Buffalo takes the East, and I'm gonna go with the Chargers taking the West. And if I had to go as my wild card teams, I would say the Raiders are a wild card team, the Bengals are a wild card team, and I'm gonna go with either. Who's left? Either got to go Kansas City, Miami, or Tennessee. And is that it? Or Cleveland. I'll say Cleveland makes it. So I say 3 teams in the North make it. I'm gonna say 2 out of the West, 3 from the North make it this year.
I think the Bills will take AFC East and take that division. I think that'll be the only team that makes the playoffs in AFC East. And then for AFC West, that's hard. There's a lot of good teams on AFC West. But
I'm telling you, I don't think Denver's going to be that good. I think they're an 8-win team. 8 wins. And Kansas City's going to be a good 9 or 10 wins, and they'll miss the playoffs.
No, I'm going to take the Raiders with you on this one. I think Derek Carr is going to prove himself, and Davante Adams.
I said the Chargers, not the Raiders.
The Chargers
I said the Raiders will make it as a wild card, though.
I'm going to put the Raiders on top, and for AFC West, I think they'll top it. For AFC North, I say the Bengals. I don't think
so.
Ravens are going to go there because Lamar Jackson, of course, is good, but there's also those games where he's not that great.
It's not just Lamar though. They were 8-3 this year. That's just why I keep telling people the Ravens were 8-3 this year before Lamar got hurt. He missed the last 6 games of the year, and they went 0-6. So that just shows Lamar is important to that team.
Yeah.
On top of that, they went 8-3 with Lamar, and they had the 3 starting running backs didn't even play this year. So they're gonna have the 3 best running backs back. They're gonna have Marlon Humphrey back, their best cornerback, a top 5 corner who I just said earlier. They're gonna have Marcus Peters back, who got hurt. They're going to be healthy. Like Baltimore's not going to have as many injuries as they had this past year. Yeah. So that's what people need to realize. Like Baltimore was banged up this year, and they still could have made the playoffs if Lamar. They probably would have won 11 games and won that division if it wasn't for Lamar getting hurt at the end of the year. And that's with all the injuries they had. So they're still, in my opinion, the number 2 or number 3 best team in the AFC. I think right now I would say Buffalo is my Super Bowl favorite, honestly, in the AFC.
I really want Buffalo to win a Super Bowl, even though they're in our division. I really want them to win a Super Bowl.
Even before they got Von Miller, I said they were the favorite because I knew Cincinnati's division was going to be tough. Now that the West is kind of shaping out how it is. I mean, in my opinion, I could see Kansas City still winning it, but I think it's going to be more challenging. I don't see Denver win it. They're the one team that I think is most overhyped. But all the other 3 teams I can see making the playoffs or winning that division.
Yeah.
And the South, it's going to be between the Colts and the Titans. Both could make it, but I think it's
only
between
Titans. I don't think the Colts.
Yeah, but I think the Colts got a lot better and the Titans got worse because the Titans didn't really get better. They're still stuck with Tannehill, and Derrick Henry's coming off that injury last year. We don't know if he's going to be the same.
True, that's true.
And then the Colts got better because Matt Ryan's a solid quarterback. They got Jonathan Taylor coming back, so they got a good roster. And the Colts were another team that had a lot of injuries last year. Besides, the Titans did too. But
yeah, looking at it, they did go 9-8 at the end of the season, mostly because of Jonathan Taylor at the end there.
Yeah, but Matt Ryan is a better passer.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And that offensive line was hurt most of the year last year for Indy, and when they're healthy, they might have the best line in football. So
yeah, if Derrick Henry's like he was before, I'll put the Titans up top. But if he isn't, then Colts will take it.
Yeah, because the Colts, in my opinion, are just a better. They're just a better team. I mean, I like Vrabel or whatever, but I just think the Colts are a better team. They're better at a lot more positions, and I think
they're only ones making it, though. I'm going to say
plus the Titans. Plus, also this is another reason why I think the Colts probably pushes it out. The Colts are also playing a second place schedule, where the Titans are playing a first place schedule. Yeah. So that might play a factor because like the Colts will play they'll play New England.
The schedules are out already for next season.
Yeah, they play New England. The Colts play New England. They play I
want to see
the Raiders. They play the Raiders. We play the Raiders too in Las Vegas.
I'm gonna go through our schedule real quick, see who we get to play.
I already know the schedule. Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm. We're gonna go probably. I say right now we would probably win like 7 games. Honestly, if I had to be honest. But that's not knowing. That's not knowing what Ronnie Perkins or any of them. If Ronnie Perkins is as good and Cameron McGrone is as good, then I think that, and Belichick coaches well and everything just works out. I think maybe up that a couple more wins. So maybe 9 wins.
Oh, we got a tough schedule though. We don't have an easy schedule.
Yeah, we play the whole AFC North, and then we play the Raiders out of the West. So that could be. I could see us going 1-4 right there. Because I think we beat Pittsburgh and we could lose to those other 3 North teams and lose the Raiders. So that could be 1-4 right there. We could lose to Buffalo twice and Miami twice. So that could be 1-8. We probably sweep the Jets. That's 3-8 potentially. This is like worst case scenario. Then we play the NFC North, right?
Yeah, we have our first opponent will be Cleveland Browns. So that means we're going against Deshaun Watson first game.
Well, the dates aren't out. Just the
dates. Okay.
The dates don't come out until into April.
Okay,
but we just know our opponents and where we play them at.
I see what you mean. Yeah. So yeah, Colts, Raiders, Cardinals, Bills, Steelers, Jets, Lions, Bears, Bengals.
You play us in Minnesota.
I say the only team out of the North we lose to is Green Bay.
Yeah.
And then
I think we're going to beat your Vikings, Cesaro.
I said we'll go 3-1 against the North. And who's the other opponent we play? We play Arizona, I think, right?
Yeah.
We'll lose to Arizona. So we'll go 3-2 against the NFC. And then I have us going, I'll say we'll split with Miami, sweep the Jets, and we'll get beat twice by Buffalo. So that will be 1, 2, we'll go 3-3 in the division. So that's 6-4, or no, 6-5.
Yeah.
And then I say we lose to Cleveland, that's 6-6. Lose to Cincinnati, that's 6-7. Lose to Baltimore, that's 6-8. Beat Pittsburgh, that's 7-8. Lose to the Raiders, that's 7-9. And then who am I missing? One more game. No, I already said that. Who am I missing?
Did you say Arizona?
No, the Colts.
Yeah.
Ooh. So we're either going to go 8-9 or 7-10 at the very worst. I say that's like worst case scenario. I'd say. So I say we'll get 7-10 in worst case scenario, but maybe we can steal a couple of those games if our players we drafted last year works out. Maybe we steal the Colts game and maybe steal like the Browns or somebody and go 9-8, and maybe that sneaks us in as like a 7 seed. But I think it's going to take. I think it's going to take 10 wins, but.
The AFC's not. I don't think Bengals are making it to the Super Bowl again. So I see another AFC team making it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I have Buffalo as the favorites right now. I would say my rank at Buffalo, and then after that, it's kind of hard because the North is so much better, and it's not going to have as injuries as last year, and then the West is just so much really stacked right now. So it's hard to say really for me who second is. I maybe still put Kansas City until they actually aren't there because they still got Andy Reid. They still got Patrick Mahomes. They still got a really good roster even without Tyreek Hill. Yeah. So until they fold, I probably put them second because they've been in the Super Bowl twice and they've been in the conference championship twice the last 4 years. So they've been at least in the conference championship the last 4 years. So I probably put them second behind Buffalo. And then I probably have like the Baltimores and the Chargers and the Raiders kind of in that next tier.
You might be upset with me for saying this, but I think in the NFC, Tom Brady's going to get back to that Super Bowl. The NFC doesn't have real competition. Aaron Rodgers isn't getting there. It's between him and the Rams.
Yeah, see, as long as the Rams are healthy, I think the Rams get there because I don't know who's going to stop Allen Robinson and Cooper Kupp and those guys. I mean,
it's going to be Bucks and Rams in the conference unless we have a blockbuster trade.
It all depends. It depends on the health, though. If the Rams are healthy, I'm taking them to win the NFC. I probably take them the repeat, honestly. Yeah. But I'm definitely taking them to NFC if they're healthy. Now, the team that I think that might get slept on a little bit is the 49ers, depending on Trey Lance. If Trey Lance is as good as they're hyping him up to be, then the 49ers are going to be right there too. Because the 49ers were in the NFC Championship this year. So, and they'll be if Lance is as good as they're saying, then he's an upgrade for Garoppolo, so that could take the team to a next level. And then you got.
I think your Vikings will get in the playoffs this year.
Yeah. Then you got the Packers will be really good still, even though they did lose some guys, they'll still be a contender in the NFC. Now, maybe not at the top. Arizona, I still have them as a contender, but I mean, I wouldn't take them as serious as Tampa Bay or the Rams, but I still think they're probably the third best team on paper.
Now,
in
I
the
asked
NFC.
You this too. Did Tom Brady? Do you think Tom Brady would come back if the NFC was stacked? Do you think he came back because he saw that the NFC wasn't stacked and he has potential to get back there?
Well, I said that.
You think he was coming back either way?
I said as soon as all those guys are going to the AFC, he's like, let's run this back.
Yeah. He's never gonna retire, man. It's like he keeps coming back.
He'll retire, but I think he's gonna retire until he's like, okay. He saw Adams get traded, and he saw
I think he's to be a head coach.
He saw Russell Wilson get traded, so he's like, hey, I'll just go back. I'll come to Tampa Bay. Green Bay's not really – I mean, they're a contender still, but they're not going to be as legit. So it's really – he just got to compete with the Rams and maybe the Cardinals and the 49ers right now. And the 49ers are still iffy because it depends on Lance. Because if Lance is worse than Garoppolo, then I would rule them out. Then it's just really the Rams, the Cardinals, and Tampa.
Yeah. I think, like I've called this ever, since I think last year. I called this out when he actually retires. I think not right off, but I think he'll be a head coach at some point. I think he'll be a head coach.
I don't think he will,
or a quarterback coach or something like that.
No, I don't think Brady will. I don't think Brady will coach.
I don't know. He doesn't want to give it up.
No, I don't see him coaching.
If you think about it, he's been, coaching the Bucks.
If there's a guy that coaches, it's going to be Brian Hoyer. Brian Hoyer is going to be an NFL coach. Watch.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah,
he's going to be. That's why the Patriots re-signed him, because he's going to be have a say in the offense this year.
Yeah, he's going to be a quarterback.
I just hope fucking Joe Judge ain't calling the fucking plays. It's going to be.
That would be bad.
Because that's who they're saying the co-offensive coordinator is going to be, and I just hope he ain't calling.
Fucking Giants head coach, right?
Well, he called the plays for them, and he fucking called a quarterback sneak on. He called a quarterback sneak on 3rd and 9 with Daniel Jones. I mean, he's more athletic than Mac Jones, but still,
That's called a fucking retarded. Yeah,
quarterback sneak on 3rd and 9. Just called a quarterback sneak.
I think if I was 3rd and 9, I would do a slant route.
We need to be more aggressive too. But I've heard the Patriots apparently are changing their offense around because
that's good.
That's why the fullback left. Because he said that the Patriots were changing their offense around. They're not using the fullback anymore. So that's and he signed with the Raiders. So that makes me think that Josh McDaniels wanted to run the ball and stuff and not throw it as much. But I want to know. I kind of want to see Belichick call the plays if that's true, because apparently
I'm excited to see how Josh McDaniels does on the Raiders because he's already had a huge blockbuster.
For us, Kevin O'Connell's going to call the plays.
If you don't do good with the Raiders, so he won't do good as a head coach because the Raiders are stacked now. Like on offense, at least he should be able to at least have. I'm not saying he has to win the Super Bowl or anything, but I mean that offense. There's no reason that he shouldn't do good with that offense because they got Carr, who's a solid quarterback. They got Josh Jacobs, Kenyon Drake is another good running back. They got Darren Waller, who's one of the best tight ends in the league. They got Hunter Renfrow, and then they got Devontae Adams now. So
Who's on that defense except for Max Crosby?
They got somebody.
Who's the big names on that defense?
Well, they did. They did lose Ngakoue.
Yeah, I heard.
But they got somebody else that's good.
And they also lost Carl Nesby.
No, he's not really that good. He's a backup. Their best probably corner. Their best corner is Trayvon Mullen. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
And he was out a lot last year too. So, and then I don't know if they brought back Casey Hayward or not. I know he was a free agent. I don't know if they brought him back. So if those are the two starting corners, that's pretty solid. But their safeties aren't that good, but they're okay.
What the?
Tell me,
is this true or not? I'm looking at. So I decided to look up the top defenses. Did we actually rank second in top defenses?
Yeah.
What? I'm actually surprised by that.
Well, thank you for having me on your podcast.
But a lot of it's skewed though, because the Patriots they had a lot of turnovers and they dominated when they played bad teams.
Yeah.
Because they had because remember the Jets only scored 6 points the first time, and Zach Wilson had 4 interceptions in that game.
Yeah.
And then the second time around when we beat them 54-13 or something, and they had a few interceptions. And then Carolina, Sam Darnold had 3 or 4 interceptions in that game. That's why I kept talking about with the J.C. Jackson thing. He plays good against bad teams, and that makes the defense look good. But when we play above average quarterback, when we play even a Baker Mayfield or something, or somebody that's above average, the defense doesn't do as good.
Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely messed up. They're trying to say Kansas City has the 8th best defense. That's a joke.
Yeah, I went through the rosters earlier. As the roster wise, I think the Patriots are about the 12th best team in the AFC really right now, roster wise. If you just go by overall roster, I have them as about the 11th to 12th best team, because you got the 4 teams in the West are better. The 3 teams in the North are better. That's 7 right there. You got Buffalo and Miami in their own division. That's 9. And then you have Indy and Tennessee are better. That's 11. So I have the Patriots 12th right now in the AFC. The only teams that I think they have a better roster than currently is Jacksonville, the Jets, Houston, and that's it. Those are the 3 teams. So that's what I'm saying. Their roster's not good. And even if Belichick is good enough to win a couple more games because of his coaching, I still won't see us making the playoffs unless we hit on these draft picks and the draft picks from last year that didn't play are just amazing. Somebody has to be amazing in this draft. Either McGrone or Perkins has to be amazing, and somebody in this draft we draft is a difference maker. We need a corner that's just amazing year one. We need if we can get a Gilmore or somebody, or I just want to bring Gilmore back, and then we could draft the corner and let him develop behind Gilmore for kind of redshirt him this year.
If we draft the receiver, I hope it's good, because we haven't been so good at drafting receivers lately.
Yeah, I don't see us drafting a receiver until at least the 2nd or 3rd round.
Yeah,
because I think corner is going to be the biggest need, and then after that, I think I wouldn't even be shocked if Belichick drafted a lineman in the 2nd round.
Yeah,
because there was a rumor just released a few months ago. It was talked about that the Patriots had a trade in place in the last draft. They weren't even going to draft Mac Jones. He wasn't even number 1 on their board. They were going to take at 15. They were going to take Elijah Vera Tucker, the lineman that the Jets drafted, but the Jets got traded up 1 pick in front of the Patriots at 14, and they took Vera Tucker. And that's when the Patriots were we're taking Mac Jones now.
I would have been pissed if that happened.
Yeah, they were going to take Vera Tucker. Belichick.
I don't like that. That's dumb because we needed. Imagine having Cam Newton.
Yeah, but that don't mean we were going to have Cam Newton. They could have drafted Kellen Mond, or they could have drafted somebody this year. They would have eventually drafted a quarterback. It could have been, they probably would have drafted Kellen Mond or something, because they were high on him. Because they said that was their number 2 quarterback in the draft behind Mac Jones was Kellen Mond.
Where did he end up going to?
Minnesota.
Oh.
Yeah, he's the backup for Cousins right now, but he actually looked pretty good too in the preseason. And he had a good the good Senior Bowl when he played in that. He had a good Senior Bowl. I need to look up that receiver's name.
Guess who got the most passing? Guess who had the most passing yards against them last year?
In what, NFL?
Surprised.
Who in the NFL?
Yeah.
Yeah, Trayvon Diggs.
No, meaning like for team wise, like who gave up the most passing yards? I think you're gonna be surprised with this one.
I don't know. Probably Seattle, I think.
Ravens.
Oh yeah, they were bad. Yeah, because of the injuries. They had so many injuries.
We were second. Meaning like the second best on passing defense. Surprisingly. Yeah. And then for rushing yards, where did we end up?
Like 25th or something. On this. I think we're like 25th in rush defense or something. Let's see. I'll tell you that receiver I was talking about.
You were close.
Christian Watson. That.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
he's out of. He is 6'5", 211 pounds, and guess what he ran at his 40?
What?
430.
I guess like 4.4.
436, and he's 6'5" and 211, so he's pretty fast for his size.
Yeah.
It says they graded his hands as a 50 out of 100. They graded his hands as 50, so that's his worst thing. His short receiving is a 73. His intermediate routes is a 79, and his deep threat is a 80, and his blocking is a 60. His overall grade is a 84.2 out of 100, so that's pretty good.
Damn.
They have him as the 11th ranked wide receiver in the draft. He's a third round projected drafted wide receiver.
Wow.
They said he's a third to fourth round. That's what it says. Third or fourth round. 6'5", 211, and runs a 4.36. That's pretty good for that.
I want to see what the
North Dakota State. That's where he goes. North Dakota State.
Yeah.
He went to the same school as Trey Lance.
Oh yeah. What do the mock drafts have the Patriots doing right now? Trying to find it and see what these experts are saying about it.
I know. I watched Evan Lazar's one yesterday.
I'm looking on this website right now because I just want to see what they're trying to say. Yeah. So for this one, they have Devin Lloyd for the linebacker.
Yeah, if we don't get, that's who I want us to get if we don't get a corner. If we don't have one of those top three corners, I want us to get Devin Lloyd if he's there. And if he's not there, I think we'll trade down, or we should at least.
They have the Steelers getting Malik Willis for this mock draft.
Yeah, I still think they'll. I don't think they'll go a quarterback in the first round, but I think they could if in the second, because they're like Desmond Ridder. I think he'll be there in the second when they pick. And I don't
know about that. I don't think they're going to go quarterback because they have Mitchell Trubisky. They have who's his name? Oh, I can't think of it. Mason Rudolph, and then they have Dwayne Haskins. They would have 4 quarterbacks if that happened. That would be crazy. They would definitely be trading or getting rid of someone.
So in this mock draft on masslive.com, which is a Patriots site, they have the Patriots trading the 21st overall pick with the Bears. Oh. And they have the Patriots moving down early into the second and drafting Kyler Gordon, the cornerback from Washington, at 39. And they also have the Patriots getting another second. And they have them drafting they have them getting the second. Yeah, moving down in the second. And then with their other second, their own second round, they have them drafting John Mechie, the wide receiver from Alabama. And then in the third round, they got them taking an offensive lineman from Georgia, 71st overall. Then with their other third round pick in the trade, they got them drafting Darren Beavers, a linebacker out of Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And then in the fourth round, they got them taking a wide receiver, Kyle Phillips, out of UCLA. Fifth round, they got them taking a defensive lineman out of UCLA. Sixth round, they got them taking an edge rusher out of Alabama.
Yeah.
And then that guy from Michigan, I feel bad for him. You see what happened?
What?
No, the guy from Michigan, he was supposed to be like a top 15 pick, a Jabo or whatever. Yeah. And he was at his pro day, he tore his ACL. So now he's like, yeah, he was doing some kind of workout at his pro day and tore his ACL, like with scouts and the shit were there. And that probably dropped because he was supposed to be like a top 10, top 15 pick. And now he's going to probably be like a late first or second.
Yeah.
Because he tore his ACL. So he's not going to even play this year. That's why he might drop to the second because he's not going to play this year. And teams will want a guy that plays this year, even though he's really good. Yeah, I'll see what Mel Kiper says. So Mel Kiper's mock draft. He has the Patriots drafting Jameson Williams at 21, the wide receiver.
I don't know about that one.
Which if we do,
wide receiver, but I agree.
If we draft a wide receiver, I hope it's either. I only want 2 guys in the first round. I hope it's either Jameson Williams or Treylon Burks. Those are the only 2 guys.
Yeah.
Let's see what CBS Sports is. I like their mock drafts. CBS Sports is who I like. I'll see what theirs says. Because they actually have a show on there that they break it down all their picks. They do like a whole first round show, and they like break it down and why they picked that person and all that. So I like their show. Hold on, I'll tell you. Let's see who they have the Patriots taken. So
I'm excited for football season to come up again because I wasn't able to watch.
Be here before we know.
Last season.
Looks like baseball's starting back up soon.
Yeah. But I get my work schedule changed. So
after their delay. So let's see. So they have, looks like they got Aiden Hutchinson going first. No surprise.
He's a beast. I always liked Alabama too because they seem to develop a lot of good quarterbacks and receivers.
They got Kenny Pickett going 6 to Carolina.
I don't know about quarterbacks, but receivers Alabama develops because who was before Mac Jones? It was Tua, right?
Yeah, Jalen Hurts.
No,
They got the Falcons taking Malik Willis.
What?
Because they got Mariota, but he's nothing good. He's okay. They got the Falcons taking Malik Willis at 8. Let's see. Damn, I hope the Jets don't take Ahmad Gardner. I don't want to play against them. They got Devin Lloyd on 12, the Houston. Jeremiah Johnson to Baltimore. They got Chris Olave at 16 to Philly.
Yeah.
They got Matt Corral going 20th to Pittsburgh. Let's see. Patriots are next.
How good is Bryce Young? That's Alabama's quarterback right now.
Yeah, he's next year, sure. So picks 11 through 20, they have Drake London, wide receiver from USC going to Washington. 12, they got Derek Stingley, cornerback going to Minnesota. 13, they got Devin Lloyd, linebacker going to Houston. 14, they got Jeremiah Johnson, edge, going to Baltimore. 15, they got Jordan Davis, defensive lineman, going to Philadelphia. 16, they got wide receiver Chris Olave going to Philadelphia. 17, they got Trevor Penning, offensive lineman, going to the Chargers. 18th, they got wide receiver Garrett Wilson going to the Saints. 19th, they got Andrew Booth Jr., cornerback, going to the Eagles. And 20th, they got Matt Corral, quarterback, going to the Steelers. And now I'm about to look 21 through 30 or whatever.
Oh, it looks like Bryce Young's going to be a good quarterback coming up next season.
I think the best quarterback in this draft is the guy they're not even really well. Outside, I think Sam Howell's going to be good, but I think the guy that they're not talking about that much that's going to be good is, and they haven't talked about him at all actually, and he might even be the best quarterback right now, and that's Carson Strong.
Yeah.
So at 21, they had the Patriots taking an offensive lineman, on CBS.
That one, it surprised me because Patriots seem to love their offensive lineman.
He's the number one. He's a true number one guard in this draft because the guy that's supposed to be, he could play guard, but he's mainly a center, is the guy from Iowa.
Yeah.
Linderbaum. But this Kenyon Green guy, he's supposed to be the number one true guard, and he can play right or left guard. They have them taking him out at 21. Then Green Bay taking a wide receiver from Penn State, 22. They have the edge going to Arizona, 23. O-lineman, 24. O-lineman, 25 to Buffalo. O-lineman, 26 to Tennessee. And then they have Devontae Wyatt going to Tampa Bay, which that'd be a good pick for them. Yeah, I just hope we hit on the draft. Main thing is we just need a corner. That's why I think we're going to go after a number one corner in the draft because there's no number one corners out there in free agency. So they got to get a corner in the draft. The only
if we get a cornerback who's decent in the draft, I have confidence that our defense will be okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's three really good ones, I think, like that are true number ones. Like Andrew Booth and Gardner, in my opinion, are the best two. But Stingley's good, but he's kind of injury prone. So I kind of want to stay from, even though he's really talented, he's kind of injury prone. So if I had to go in order, I would go Gardner and then Booth and then Stingley, and then after that, I wouldn't take a corner in the first round. I'd either go with Devin Lloyd at linebacker, or I would probably go offensive lineman. And if one of those top offensive linemen are gone too with those players, then I probably would just trade out if Jamison Williams is gone or Treylon Burks. Those are the only two receivers I would take at 21.
Yeah,
Treylon Burks, but I would also take those corners over and Devin Lloyd over them. So basically, if Devin Lloyd, Treylon Burks, Jamison Williams, and those three corners are all gone, I want the Patriots to trade out of the first round.
I was hoping we would have got Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, I think we were going to go after him until freaking he got in trouble. And apparently we're going after Robbie Anderson. They were going after him, but I think they were going to trade Aguilar for him. Apparently, that was the rumor. They were going to trade Aguilar for Anderson.
I don't know. I don't know about Robbie Anderson, though.
He's better than Aguilar. I mean, not that Aguilar. I think Aguilar's better than what he played last year, but Anderson's a better receiver. He's bigger and he's a little bit faster. And Aguilar's a deep threat, but Anderson's a little faster, and Anderson's like taller. Aguilar's only 6 feet and Anderson's 6'3", so
yeah.
But I think Anderson is a little faster too than Aguilar's. I think he's a better receiver because he's had multiple 1,000-yard receivers, even with bad quarterback play.
Yeah, something we've always had good of his offensive line, though.
Because you got to think he's had Sam Darnold. Robbie Anderson's had freaking Sam Darnold and Teddy Bridgewater his whole career.
Yeah, sucky quarterbacks.
Yeah, so speaking of Teddy Bridgewater, I didn't even know until like today he was Miami's backup. Now,
yeah,
they signed him.
And then, is Sam Darnold still starting for the Panthers next season?
Until they draft Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
No, well, if they do, I mean, I think they are though, because Matt Rule has he recruited Kenny Pickett in college.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to try to get Kenny Pickett. If Kenny Pickett's there at 6, the only way Kenny Pickett goes earlier is if a team like Pittsburgh or Washington or somebody like that, Seattle or somebody trades up, or if the Lions somehow would take him at 2. But I don't think they're drafting a quarterback at 2.
Each year I keep saying that the Panthers will end up being, good again once Christian McCaffrey gets out of injury, but it seems like he's always getting injured.
People are going to go nuts if the Patriots trade for Malik Willis.
Yeah.
Because if that's crazy that Belichick's because apparently that's the only quarterback Belichick's met with, which is odd because you would think if he was going to meet with one, he would meet with them all or just none if he was. Because I know, like they said, Belichick didn't even like meet with Trevor Lawrence because he knew they had no chance of taking Trevor Lawrence because they knew he was going to go on.
But why would they want Malik Willis? Like, they wouldn't start him over Mac Jones, would they?
No, I think they would trade Mac Jones. That's what I'm saying.
I don't like that though. I'd rather have Mac Jones
Malik
Willis.
But Malik Willis is like he's literally like Josh Allen. If you look at all these scouts, they're comparing him to Josh Allen coming out. They both played at a small school. They both have high intangibles. They both have good arms coming out, and both have accuracy issues a little bit. But if you work on their mechanics and stuff, they can be great. And Malik Willis can run too. He's a lot faster than Josh Allen was. They both got strong arms though. But
you want to hear stats that he has?
No, I don't care about his stats. His stats don't mean nothing. Like that Bailey Zappi dude broke every college record, but he'll be a backup quarterback in the pros. It don't matter. Stats don't mean shit in college.
That's true. Because his stats doesn't look that great on college. But
he also played at Liberty where he had to go against better competition and shit. He wasn't playing like when he had to play against like Ole Miss. Ole Miss was like people bring up his Ole Miss tape. I'm like, that's not fair to bring up his Ole Miss tape when Ole Miss has like NFL caliber players everywhere, and he was the only NFL caliber player on this team. And Ole Miss has like several NFL caliber players on their team, so it's like it's not a fair comparison.
He had one really bad game where he was going against I think it's Mississippi.
Yeah, that's Ole Miss.
Yeah, the 0-3 one. Yeah, that's his worst game.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But that's what I'm saying. People were saying, "Oh, he was bad." I'm like, "Well, yeah, you expect him to be bad. He was literally the only guy on his team that was close to NFL talent." And Ole Miss has players, even their bad players, like their worst players, are still like really good, like SEC players. Like they're close to NFL talent. So he doesn't have a lot of NFL talent or caliber players on his team. That's the biggest difference. I was like, "Well, you expect the guy to do."
Holy shit! On that missed game too for his rushing thing, he ran 27 attempts for 71 yards. Yeah,
he's a good athlete.
Yeah, it seems like his offensive line wasn't that great.
Yeah, he honestly reminds me. He's the closest thing to Lamar. Honestly, he really is as far as running ability. And I think he has a stronger arm than Lamar. He has like a Josh Allen arm, but Lamar's athletic ability. That's why he's going to go. Like that's why he's probably going to be the number one quarterback because he has his ceilings high. Even though he's not that great of like a prospect, his ceiling's so high. As long as he ends up on a good team, that's the thing. If he ends up on a bad team like the Lions, then he won't be that good. He'll be okay. He'll still be good, I think, but not as good. He'll be okay.
Yeah.
But that's what the thing is. The matter, like that's why I think for the Patriots it'd be good because he'll land on a good team. Yeah. But if he goes to like the Saints or something, he'll be good. But if he goes to like the Lions or somewhere like that, I don't think he'll be good.
I don't know too because I would think that even if they did get him, they would put him as a backup and develop him before starting.
Yeah. But that's the theory is if they're gonna draft Willis, or just that's because they really like Malik Willis and they think he could be special, like elite quarterback, and that means they're just trade Mac Jones because I mean Mac Jones probably doesn't have that high of a ceiling. You're probably going to get like average, maybe a little above average some years. Like depending on the year, you might get him as like a top 10 quarterback, but for the most part, he's probably going to hover around like 15. Probably kind of like a Jimmy G. Jared Goff, he might be a better than Goff, but I mean, he might be like a Kirk Cousins, like around the 13th to 15th best quarterbacks here and there. You might get them as like
doing that. I guess I could see them
because Malik Willis, and you won't have to give up that much. You'll probably give up like Mac Jones for the 5th overall pick, or Mac Jones for the 7th overall pick. But I think they would do it during the draft or something because they would make sure Detroit isn't taking them at 2 because that's the only possible.
Get 2 draft picks for Mac Jones?
No, they would trade literally. The only thing they would give up Mac Jones. They would send Mac Jones for the 5th overall pick or the 7th overall pick because Mac Jones went 15th last year. Yeah. So what they'll do is the Patriots will basically just trade, but the Patriots won't do it until draft night. They'll do it because they'll wait till Detroit gets past the 2nd overall pick because that's the team that would take Willis at 2 potentially. So they'll wait till the draft starts. And if Willis gets past 2, they'll at like pick 4, pick 3, they'll try to slide up for New York at 5 because they'll wait a few picks just because if another team tries to jump them, they'll wait. They'll probably wait it out till the 4th pick is picked and then they'll try to get with New York at either 5 or 6 or 5. Well, because New York has 5 and 7, so they'll try to get they'll probably try to get that 5th pick. And I think that's enough. I think you offer you probably Mac and maybe like a 5th or 6th is all you have to give up. You might have to throw in like a later round pick because Mac did go 15th, so you might have to throw like a later round pick. But still, if Malik Willis is like Josh Allen, then it's worth it.
Yeah.
No, I think Malik Willis might be like kind of like Mac is year 1, just a different playing style, like as far as like levels. But I think by year 2, year 3, he's going to be like a Josh Allen. He'll be elite. If he hits all of his ceiling, because his ceiling's real high.
If he plays like Mac Jones on the level that he was playing, he would still be better anyway. If you think about it, because he's able to run the ball as well.
Well, he can extend. That's the thing he can do too. He can extend plays, and Mac Jones really can't.
I mean, Mac Jones can run a little bit, but like not as much as Malik.
Yeah, but when a play breaks down, the play is pretty much over when Mac Jones has it. Where Malik Willis can make that's what I'm saying. That's why I like Watson, because he can extend the plays, and that makes your receivers, even if you don't have the greatest wide receiving core, the DBs can't cover them guys forever. So that's why it's good to have a middle quarterback.
Watson play for the Browns.
But I'm gonna hop off here. I gotta get ready for bed.
Yeah. Well, have a good night. Thank you for joining the podcast.
I'll see you, man. Yep.
Yeah.